Hello everyone, this is Orbiton over here back at Cyberspace Station, and today we're going to be doing a much simpler video before tomorrow where I'm going to be streaming Undertale or what was the other, or Bleach Rebirth of Souls, depending on how much the poll has changed. And yeah, what I plan to do with this video is this is going to be another tier list. Might start doing like tier list videos at least once a week. And this is going to be a Sonic shipping tier list. Gonna see if this triggers anyone in the algorithm. And I don't think there'll be too many hot takes here. We've got like a decent amount of ships. So let's get started with the first one, which is SonAmy, which OTP. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna make like one OTP. So like I'm gonna look for my favorite ship and just put it at the top. And I think my favorite ship is probably Sonic X Sally, so I'm gonna put them at the top. Because let's be honest, if you've seen, like, I'll keep this page open because I'm going to use it later. But if you've read Archie, you know Sonic and Sally are the main couple in the show. In like both the both Sonic Sat AM, which is the show that the Archie comics were loosely based off of in the beginning, and also just in the Archie comics in general, like they literally have a whole drama where Shelly slaps Sonic in the face because she's mad that he won't give up fighting Eggman and putting himself in danger and stuff like that. Like you can actually see like the argument like right here, like here where they're arguing about it right here in this panel. Yeah, like here's the slap, right there is the slap here. I should have known you'd be selfish. A lot that was obviously very controversial for anyone who actually read the RPG comics as they were coming out. And we see here like where they show like hints of them trying to get back together, you know. So yeah, I just like the ship. Like it's always been a personal favorite of mine, especially with the way Sonic and Sally complement each other, both being confident and outgoing. Sonic, like how Eggman, like both, like how Sally is like the confident commander and Sonic is like the one who actually, the confident fighter. Hold on a minute, I've got something. Sorry about that, guys. It's literally coming up, so I'll probably have to go soon. But anyway, while we're waiting for them to come up, let's move on to the next ship and actually start an order this time. Sonic and Amy. I like them. The thing is, SEGA has been teasing SonAmy a lot lately. Like, well, like especially now in the recent comic arc, like where they're literally having Sonic and Amy confront their doppelgangers. Like, you can tell that SonAmy is something that SEGA is gonna just kind of tease. Like, you can literally see it here in this panel. All the cute moments they share together. Amy hugging up Sonic, like that's pretty cute. Like they're a very cute couple. And SonAmy has pretty much just been a thing ever since Amy first started having a crush on something. Like even early on in the comic, like it's like issue 2, we can literally see how Ian riots them together. The playful banter. It's pretty clear that they might as well be a canon couple at this point. But obviously, since unlike in the Archie days where Sega pretty much just allowed anyone to put anything in the Sonic comics, so Sega has not shown any interest in like writing any romantic relationships, aside from one that's probably later on the list, Vector and Vanilla, which I'll get into later. So Knuckles is going. Like we know Sonic and Knuckles are rivals at this point. Like they won't be together. Like literally, like Sonic and Knuckles. Like you can literally just search up Sonic and Knuckles and probably find something with them fighting in it. But okay, or maybe not, or maybe not. Maybe this ship is more popular than people thought. I have no clue, but I do not care. But yeah, like that's not what should be happening. This is what we want to see. Like this is how they should be fighting. Like I do wish Sega let Sonic and Knuckles be more rivals, like as they are, because right now Knuckles is either a lesser rival or at best he's probably just one of Sonic's friends who just kind of sits on the sidelines because they relegated him back to Angel Island, which is fine because that's where he's supposed to be. But I just wish we got more stories with it. At least in W comics, we get to see him actually do more. Sonic X Shadow. Now the thing is, right? I'm here. Hello, Mum. I'm alright. Nothing much, just in my room. I'll empty it later. I will. Just give me like a few minutes. Just give me a few minutes. I don't want any disturbances. Okay, sorry about that. Mum just came home. Anyway, I would put Sonic and Shadow in meh. Now, the only reason they're not in don't like them or is literally just because of course, Sonic. A few comics, like there's a certain artist, I don't know their name, but they make like a lot of Sonic like Shadow comics and stuff. Like I'm gonna, like against my better judgment, I'm actually gonna search up Sonic X Shadow and hope I find one of their comics. But like Sonic X Shadow comics, let me see if I can find like the artist I'm talking about. Like I doubt it's gonna be that easy, but you know, they look deep. They seem like they'd be decently popular. Okay, I can't find shit, but obviously I prefer them as rivals. But honestly, I see the appeal of a gay Sonic. You know, I mean, with how they're promoting it these days, we could always show a little bit more pride in the Sonic universe. I mean, I don't think we have a canon gay ship in Sonic like that makes any sense. But I think Sonic Shadow is alright. Sonic and Jet, Sonic X Jet, it's not as like Knuckles, but I am like it. Like you know, they may be both cocky and confident, but they're better off as rivals. Not to mention the fact that honestly, I think it would be one of those annoying relationships where you have the annoying partner in Jet, and you just have Sonic who's just kind of downplaying all of his achievements. It'd be like one of those. It'd be funny, but it'd come off more like they're just cool. They're just like friends that don't really like each other, as opposed to a relationship. Besides, I don't think we need any more gay Sonic. Like Sonic X Shadow is more than enough. So it's not as Knuckles, but Sonic X Blaze. Honestly, I'm gonna put them in the. I like them too, because honestly, I can see a way in which they work. Like you know, I can see. I might put them. I might put them there. Fine. Actually, I'm gonna put them there like that because honestly, they have a lot in common. Honestly, like if you actually look at it, like they have a lot in common. They're both royalty because if you remember at the end of Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic does canonically become King Arthur, and they're very cute. Like I like how people draw like Blaze as the werecat, which would be pretty cool. And it would make sense since Sonic Blaze is kind of like Sonic's counterpart. You know, I can actually see, I also like stuff like this. Like I can honestly see it. Like I can honestly see how they would be a pretty good couple. Not to mention the fact that there's also like a one-pound IDW that people are analyzing, which is Sonic and Blaze holding hands over here. And what they were pretty much on a date here. Like Sonic was showing Blaze around his dimension, since she's on vacation in the Soul Dimension. And yeah, they pretty much go on like a mini date sort of, and they're over holding hands, and people you can see like Blaze is blushing. Like if you actually look at properly at the photo, like here, like you can see that Blaze is blushing. So I can see it working, and not to mention that they'd work well with each other because Sonic would be able to make sure to keep Blaze out of her comfort zone and get her to be more sociable because you know. So let's see, Sonic X Silver is going in there. Because no, just no. Like, I'd rather hear It's No Use 100 more times than just have Sonic and Silver. Like, Sonic and Silver do not belong together. Honestly, Silver, I don't know if Silver belongs with anyone, to be fair, because aside from maybe Blaze, you could argue that he's just too naive and too focused on his role of protecting the future to even be prepared for something like a relationship. This art's kind of cool, though. I don't know why that's in a Sonic and Silver art, but okay then. I just don't think Sonic belongs with Silver. Now Sonic X Surge I actually like. and put them in their fine tier. Like, it's not something issue, but I think they're fine. Like, they're actually fine. I can also see a world where Sonic and Surge, like, they don't settle their differences so, but Sonic is likes danger. I can also see him falling in love with a girl who is a constant threat to him. And I can also see Surge eventually falling for like his snarky charms, finding it fun having someone to fight with all the time. Someone who can keep up with her for one. And someone who would be willing to take her in. Because Sonic would be willing to take Surge in. Like, he's expressed it clearly that he just wants Surge to have her freedom, and if Surge chooses to stay with him, I don't think he would mind. Like, you know, like as Sonic said, if there's freedom, just take it. You know, there's no reason for Sonic. Like, Sonic has no personal beef with Surge. He just doesn't want Surge causing trouble for other people. So I honestly can see them working, and I've seen like there's plenty of comics of them together. Like, I bet if I thought Sonic and Surge, I could probably find something like this artist especially, like very good with the Sonic X Surge stuff. Like, I can honestly see it. Now, Sonic X Metal Sonic is first off. That is just that's gonna be a weird one to wrap your head around. But it's like the ultimate form of self-love right here. But no, they aren't gonna be anything. Like, they aren't gonna be anything. Like, Sonic and Metal Sonic are destined rivals. Metal Sonic hates Metal Sonic was pretty much created to hate Sonic. So unless you want some sort of dead code AU kind of shit, where like they kind of like Metal Sonic tries to romantically fuse with Sonic and like that's his like weird obsession, then nah, I don't see it. Like, that's just an obvious nope. Now, Sonic X Elise, now I get what they were going for. It's going in meh. It's not going in there fine. It's going in meh. But the main issue is that, first of all, it's a hedgehog and a human. And Sonic was originally going to have a human girlfriend. I think her name was Madonna. Let me see. Let's see. Madonna. Yeah, Sonic was originally going to have a human girlfriend. They even repurposed her here. Like, I think this like just her repurposed. But like, yeah. Like, like we all know, like Sonic was gonna have a human girlfriend. Like, that was the original plan. Like, you know, like Sonic was originally supposed to have a human girlfriend, but it didn't go anywhere. You know, at the end of the day, I think the SEGA just kind of figured that having an animal being a human was weird, which makes you wonder where they went with the Elise plotline, but hey. I mean, it would be the first time, like, Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit are a thing. They are, like, that's a human being with a rabbit for a wife. So, like, hey. How Roger even managed to pull Jessica, I have no idea. But that is not important right now. Sonic X Rouge, honestly, I think is a good one. Like, Sonic X Rouge, I think, is a good one. Like, I actually think Sonic X Rouge would be very good. The reason why is that they're both like snarky. Like, we already have the Big Blue nickname from Sonic Generations. But like, come on. Sonic and Rouge would like, look at this. Like, this is actually official art, but I think this looks like Tracy Yardley. You know, Evan Stanley, wrong one. Evan Stanley, but like, look at them being dramatic as hell. Like, Sonic and Rouge would definitely be a good couple. They're both snarky, sassy. And whenever they're in together in the same scene, they have like this weird like chemistry. Like, you know, I can honestly see them being in a relationship because they both like the free. They both express sorry, I can't speak today. They both express freedom in their own ways. And I can honestly see them having like a sort of like Spider-Man and Black Cat kind of thing going on if they met earlier. Like, if Sonic wasn't a steadfast hero, I didn't believe in like certain morals or was willing to skew them for some adventure. I can honestly see him and Rouge just being like thieves together. Sonic using his speed to distract the cameras while Rouge swoops in and nabs the prize. You know, I can honestly see them working well together in that sense. Next we have Sonic and Sonadow, and I'm going to put them in their fine tier. Like, nothing special, because they're both like Sonic and Tangle. they both are similar. They have similar personalities. Like Tangle is basically just like a younger Sonic, if you really think about it. In terms of personality, she's quick to action, just like Sonic. She loves being a hero. She likes adventure, but she's a bit of a new around the edges. You know, this the first, like when you first meet on IDW, we get pretty accustomed to the fact that very quickly that we learn that she hasn't really left her village on many adventures like Sonic has. She's been on a few adventures with Jewel, the Beetle, but she hasn't really gone like anywhere far. That's why a lot of people ship her with Espio. I noticed that a lot of people ship her and Espio together. I wonder if that ship's on here, probably. But, you know, I can honestly see them being a couple. I just don't think that probably be like a very casual thing, like nothing serious. Because they'd probably be just good buddies, like good best friends who like go on adventures. They'd be a very adventurous couple. I can guarantee everyone would hate them because they'd always be bothering him. But you know, it's now Shadow and Amy. I'm honestly gonna put them in the. I don't know if I like. Well, it's either they're fine or I like them too. I'm gonna put them in I like them. Well, yeah. I'm gonna put them in they're fine. The only reason I'm putting them in they're fine is that I don't think. I think like a lot of people are probably shipping them together because of, you know, how Amy was the one to convince Shadow to remember Ramia's promise back in Sonic Adventure 2. I don't doubt that Amy would be able to, you know, convince Shadow, or that Shadow I don't doubt that Shadow would take an interest in Amy, recognizing her determination and kindness, similar to that would remind him of Maria. But the way I see it is more so that, like, you know, Amy, it's all about how much Amy would be willing to, like, if Amy were to realize one day that maybe Sonic just wouldn't like her like that, like maybe Sonic isn't ready for romance and eventually just get tired of chasing after him, then I can see her settling with Shadow. But I just feel like her love for Sonic is too pronounced for her to be willing to shift gears like that. Not to mention the fact that, honestly, Shadow, the way they write Shadow these days, it's pretty clear that Shadow would probably wouldn't have time for romance, or probably wouldn't entertain it because of the fact that he knows he's going to live further and wouldn't want to see anyone close to him die again. So I'm going to leave it in Methanol. Now, Shadow's Rouge is one that I can see it being that I like. I like them definitively because first off, it's Shadow and Rouge. They're partners. They fought crime together. They've practically been by each other's side forever. They were literally introduced into the same game together. The main issue you have is that I can also see that whether or not you think Shadow would be reciprocative. I mean, Rouge already flirts with everybody, and calls Shadow handsome. Now this is crazy. Now that's a crazy one. But I mean, hey, we all like Catwoman, so I don't blame Shadow for that one. But you know, I can honestly see it working. You know, being like good cop, bad cop, flirting. Like they literally be a buddy cop situation. They're both spies. They're like a spy team. Rouge is for the flirtation, and Shadow's the one that gets stuff done. And Rouge is the only one who can really slip through Shadow's guard. Like, aside from Maria, Rouge is probably the one Shadow trusts the most. So I can see that working. Now this one is like, I don't like them. And it's not but it's like, I don't like them. They're siblings. Like, Shadow and Maria are siblings. I don't know if I should search this up. But yeah, Shadow and Maria are siblings. Like, even if here it's like they're more portrayed as siblings than lovers. Also, I like this art where Shadow is like doom wings and like Maria with the angel wings. But like, yeah. Also, this is crazy work. But still, I do like the idea. Oh yeah, this is like, I like Moby and Maria as well. Like, this is crazy. Giving them the Reggie and Android 18 treatment. But yeah, they're clearly siblings. Yeah, they aren't meant to be together. They're like they're siblings. Like, it's clearly a sibling relationship, and that's what's always been portrayed as. But it'd be kind of weird since Maria is technically older than Shadow, despite Shadow being created as like a teenager. And it's weird, like the fact that she would create her own boyfriend, who isn't a human. So this one is going in Omega is an a Omega is an aromantic robot. Like all Omega cares about is destroying Eggman and like he's destroying things in general. Like they're good friends. Like Shadow trusts Omega. They have a mutual respect for each other, both viewing each other as like strong fighters and capable partners whenever they need to work together. But other than that, Omega only values Shadow for his combat strength and as a friend, like as a trusted ally. Neither of them would have any romantic feelings for each other like that. Especially since they're both characters who don't have many romantic feelings. I mean, there's some people who disagree clearly by this Tumblr image, but it's Tumblr, so I don't know how trustworthy that resource is. But yeah, now Shadow X Espio is going in. Now the thing is, right, I'm gonna put in I don't like them, but only is because I can see a reality where if they were both gay, right, which I know they're not. Like Shadow is probably aromantic, and like, Espio is definitely straight based on how he reacts to Rouge. But yeah, I don't see them working really. Like, well, I can see them working, but they're both too reserved to ever like have any sort of feelings for each other. Even if they were to like each other, they would. Neither of them would ever confess that love, and it'd kind of be like a will they, won't they? But that you know they won't. Like whenever they're near each other, they'll just awkwardly go away, and like Espio will turn invisible and Shadow kills control away. You will never get like a definitive will kiss or anything out. Now, this one is okay. This one's going in meh. Like this one is going in meh simply because we don't see them interact enough to know for certain how they would work. But I can see them both working because they both have a sense of realism. Actually, I might move this up to their fine simply because of some Archie thing. Like if you look at Sonic and Shadow and Blaze's relationship in Archie, it's kind of hinted at that Shadow might have a thing for Blaze, kind of. Omega definitely has a thing for Blaze and Archie. But like Shadow and Blaze and Archie, they have a much more in-depth relationship where they actually get to talk to each other. And I can see them having a mutual respect for each other, both knowing what it's like to be have a shared responsibility. After all, Shadow feels he's responsible for the fate of the world, not just because of his promise, but because he also believes that people who seek to control power beyond them are dangerous, and he wants to make sure all forms of chaotic power are kept out of the hands of people who use it for evil. Whereas Blaze's whole thing is protecting the Soul Emeralds and running a whole kingdom, and I think Shadow would really respect her for that. So I can see them working, but just it'd be a very weird relationship because they're both of them have habits of being standoffish, and while Blaze is more open to conversation than Shadow, you'd like if they were a couple, you would rarely see them make romantic gestures in front of people. Most of their moments would be behind the closed door. This is obviously they have a kind of mentor-student relationship. Shadow acting as a mentor for Silver in Sonic 06, by showing him the truth about Mephiles and teaching him chaos once he realized he could use chaos control. There's also a lot of people who theorize that Silver might be Shadow's son, which I mean would make sense, being able to use chaos powers. But as for who Shadow's Silver's mother would be, I honestly can see Silver being like somewhere in if Sonic and Amy were to get together, I can honestly see it being Silver being part of like Sonic's descendant. But I feel like if he was, it'd be confirmed by now. And like maybe if we ever do get a Silver game, or a Shadow and Silver game, which I think would be pretty cool. But I don't think we ever will, because let's be honest, if Silver it all depends. Because right now we're going to like a Metal Sonic and Amy kind of year, but clearly Metal Sonic is the favorite. But Shadow and Decode now, it's not but I'm gonna say I don't like. I'm gonna say Shadow and Decode. I'm gonna say meh, and the reason I'm saying that is that Shadow does have chaos and connection to the Chaos Force. The only way, first of all, Shadow and Tarkov have never met, first of all, and the only way for them to meet is if Shadow were to try using Chaos control of the master and would form a connection with it. That's allowing Tarkov's consciousness or Tarkov's spirit interact with him. But other than that, first of all, Knuckles would never let Shadow touch the Mustang to begin with, and even if Shadow did have to for whatever reason, because of a certain crisis, What would they even talk about? Like, I guess I can see Takao like reminding Shadow of Maria and helping Shadow, make connections in his life. But at the end of the day, since Takao is stuck in the Master Emerald with Kayla, Shadow would only really be able to talk to her on Angel Island, or whenever a quest is happening and he has a Chaos Emerald on him. Other than that, Takao's kind of just floating around in the astral plane. And like I said before, they don't know each other. Like, I can't see them. Like, I'm gonna see if anyone has like a Shadow X Takao on here. Someone probably does. Like, I've seen it. Like, I know there's a Mighty X Takao. But yeah, some people clearly do have a thing with them, but I personally don't see it. Now, Knuckles and Amy is also a meh. Like, it's not that I don't like them together, but I think they work better as friends. Like, if you've seen the IDW comics where like I forgot what like chapter it is, but I know like Knuckles and Amy are very good friends most of the time. Like, it's in this issue right here, where like Amy goes to visit Angel Island to return an artifact that was stolen by Eggman that Rouge had on her. And I think they'd work really well together. Knuckles training Amy, and Knuckles having a sparring partner that's actually very strong, like equal to his level, because Amy is really strong. Like, her hammer is heavy. So I think that would. Now, Knuckles and Rouge is obviously like come on. Knuckles X Rouge is a classic. So if you've watched Sonic X, like that's pretty, like Sonic X is probably where the ship first like gained proper traction. But even in Sonic Adventure 2, it's kind of hinted at that Rouge wanted to settle down with Knuckles for a change. Obviously, once you work with the federal government, you never really stop working with the government. So yeah. But yeah, Knuckles X Rouge is a classic. I mean, it's who doesn't like this shit, really? Like, it's a classic. They work well together, they have the banter. Yeah, it'd be one of those relationships where they go from like being rival. It's like like rivals to lovers kind of thing. Where, I mean, here, they start off beefing for the Master Emerald, but Rouge eventually realizes that Knuckles is the one she wants to be with. After all, it's pretty clear that she only keeps pretending to try to steal the thing so that she can hang out with him and see his reaction. Now, this one is actually a pretty good. Like, I like this one. This one is a good bear fine because Blaze and Knuckles both understand what it means to be a guardian. Knuckles guards the Master Emerald and Blaze guards the Soul Emeralds. The main issue is obviously like, well, the matter of the dimension split isn't that bad because Blaze is pretty much stuck in staying in the next dimension for vacation for the time being because there's nothing for her to do back on her home world. She'll probably go back at some point if they ever decide to write a story on it again. Because we never really did get to explore the solar dimension beyond the sea, and if it's just sea, then that's kind of That's a funny one. I don't know who drew this and what, but yeah. But I can honestly see them working out because they both have an idea. I can see Knuckles trusting Blaze to remain on enough that she can stay by his side on Angel Island, and she definitely respects how she's more responsible than Sonic. And they both have a temper on them. Like, if you see, like, Blaze and Knuckles both have a temper on them, but they'd also be able to calm each other down and make sure that each of them stays focused on both protecting the Master Emerald and also protecting what matters the most to them. So I can honestly see that working out. Knuckles X Shadow is another I mean, I'd rather see them shadow boxing. Like, the Knuckles Shadow boxing. We know that they're fine. Like, they're rivals. Like, in Archie comics, you could argue that they hate each other pretty much. Because Shadow is essentially trying to take the Master Emerald from him to put under Gun's protection. Like, I can honestly see a world. Like, I can honestly see a world where, like, Shadow becomes Knuckles' main rival instead of Sonic. Like, I honestly wish we got to see like, Knuckles and Shadow interact a bit more. Especially when you see how their relationship is like in Archie comics. Like, the Archie comics really does a good job, especially like post reboot, like when Ian Flynn starts taking the mantle. like when it comes to the characterization of everybody and the relationships between each characters, and also mentioned the original cast analogy. Knuckles and Katar, I mean, Takar is Knuckles' ancestor, and if you've seen Beware, like the YouTuber Beware, like I can actually search up right now. Let me just go. Like you've seen like Beware, like he's writing like a Sonic review right now, like where he like starts from Sonic 1 and he's trying to make basically rewriting this whole Sonic the Hedgehog series like if it was written in advance. Like this video right here, he is shipping Knuckles and Takar, and honestly I see the vision. The only problem is like, first of all, we don't see enough interaction between Knuckles and Takar, which is weird. I feel like with the monster so close by, we should actually, it would be cool if like they made it so like Takar's spirit could like communicate with Knuckles consistently. Like Knuckles would be able to tap into the Chaos Force more because of how close he remains to the Master Emerald all the time, and the Master Emerald would give him powers. I feel like that would make a good Knuckles game. Like hear me out. If like you start off on Angel Island, and as you progress in the game, the Master Emerald grants you more ability if you fulfill more conditions, you know. So whether it be kill a certain amount of enemies, or do a certain trick, or like find a certain collectible, you know, you can, or complete enough side missions, you know, you can get abilities from the Master Emerald, you know, and by the end of the game, Knuckles absorbs some of its power to gain a new transformation to be the final boss. I feel like that would make sense. Especially for Knuckles, he should, if anything, Knuckles should have more potential for chaos energy than Sonic does. Simply because Knuckles has spent his whole life surrounded by like the Master Emerald, the strongest source of chaos energy that we know of. The reason I'm going to put that putting them in there is because obviously if these count fan content, it would probably go up to here, but I'm going to put in there simply because we don't see enough of them interacting, and not Takar is the kind of Knuckles' ancestor, so the power dynamic in the relationship would be a bit strange, with Knuckles basically worshipping her in a sense. Now Knuckles and Mighty, we're going to go in because I mean, first off, like when was the last time we ever saw Knuckles and Mighty interact? Like Sonic Mania doesn't count because they don't really talk, and in Sonic Mania Adventures, you don't see them talk either. Like we know they're good buddies. Like we know it's like back when they were younger, they were good buddies. And in the Archie comics, they seem to be friendly with each other too. But like other than that, we have not seen Mighty and Ray interact with Knuckles in a long time. Like even in the Archie comics, like even in the Archie comics, like Mighty and Ray are more Sonic's friends than Knuckles is. Despite the fact that we know that Knuckles and Mighty do respect each other and are good friends. Knuckles and Sticks is, I'm going to put them down, I don't like them, simply because, I mean, what do you get out of that? Like, Knuckles and Sticks, like they don't, like, even in Sonic Boom, like, Knuckles and Sticks don't really have that sort of dynamic to each other. I mean, but like, there's hint, like, I can see it working, you know. Tough guy meets a crazy girl that does his head in, but he cares enough about her to let it slide. Back that. I mean, it'd kind of be a pretty cool if like Sticks were to ever find her way onto Angel Island. Knuckles showing her around. It basically like a country bumpkin enters like a tropical rainforest kind of vibe, and she like Sticks would be very, very, very confused and haphazard, thinking everything's out to get her. Knuckles has to guide her and show her around, yeah, and then make sure she doesn't destroy anything. Like I just think it would be a pretty interesting relationship, but I don't know if that would be a good one. This one is now. If anyone doesn't know, this is Lara Sue, I think, or Julie Sue. And I'm going to put them in their... I'm putting them in. The only reason I'm putting them in is because they're technically cousins. But at the same time, they're distantly enough related that it works. Because other than that, I'm going to put them in their fine tier. Like, I never particularly found them interesting, simply because I'm not that much of an Archie fan. Like, I am an Archie fan, but I'm not like dived that deep into the backstory of Julie Sue and how they got together. But fine. I mean, I find their relationship cute in the issues I've read of Archie. You know, I feel like, you know, the relationship is cute and that makes sense. Like Julie Sue was from lost part of their Kidna clan, you know, that end up working with Eggman for a bit, and that's why she has like a bit of technological enhancements. But she ended up joining the side of the freedom fighters after realizing that the Dark Legion, I think they were called, was doing what's wrong. And Knuckles took interest in her. I mean, of course he would. It's that he's like the only other kid that you know. The equivalent to Julie Sue that I can see Knuckles getting together with is Shade from Sonic Chronicles. I don't think she's on this list, which makes sense, but yeah, I can see it working. Now this is Knuckles' ex Sonia, which is Sonic's sister from Sonic Underground. Which, I mean, I don't know why people should Knuckles. I think it's because in Sonic Underground, like Knuckles had a crush on Sonia, I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah, like Knuckles did actually end up having a crush on Sonia in Sonic Underground. You know, I don't know why they made Knuckles have a crush on Sonic's sister. I'm gonna put them in meh simply because, I mean, we don't that crush lasts for like about like the last couple bits of the episode. Now I like Tails and Cosmo. Tails and Cosmo is a cute relationship. Like if you've watched Sonic X, like when Tails had to shoot Cosmo, that was like one of the saddest things ever. Like definitely one of a very sad death. One of the saddest deaths in the Sonic series. This art is very nice, by the way. I like this. Like this looks pretty cool. Like if Cosmo was like in Sonic Riders, but that's besides the point. I honestly think that Tails and Cosmo is a very cute relationship. You know, it's given time to build. You know, they clearly like each other a lot, and it's very wholesome, and adorable. Like honestly, it's a shame that like Cosmo, like it's a shame Sonic X didn't continue and that Cosmo ended up to die. Because I feel like Sonic X could have been one of the functions that would be continuing to this day if the Sonic team still wanted like to keep Sonic as an anime. I feel like Sonic X would just be something that would continue. And with each Sonic game, we get like a new retro episodes to coincide with the game's release. You know, I think that's the main issue with like that. Is that they started a bit too early. Like if they started Sonic X with like Sonic 1 and then transition into the season being like where we got to where episode 1 actually starts with the Sonic Adventure timeline, then we might have been able to. They might have been able to keep the series around longer. But who knows? Now Tails Cream is like a mess ship for me. Because I mean, I can see the appeal. They're both kids, but for starters, Cream is just sweet to everybody. I don't see her doing anything special for Tails. She calls everyone Mister. She's just polite. Like, you know. In Sonic, I think there was a bit in Sonic X where like they're trying to push like the Tails X Cream narrative. But Tails and Cream, they barely interact really. Like, but at the same time, sometimes you'll be surprised by like the most unlikely couples. Sometimes it's the most unlikely couples that end up getting together. So I can see a situation where maybe Tails gets with Cream, but like it'd have to be very specific. Like Cream is dropping off some food for everyone and catch Tails in his lab or something like that. So it'd be cute, but it wouldn't really make sense. This is Tails X. I'm gonna put this in like this Tails X Zoe from Sonic Boom. I'm putting in meh because like Tails just has a crush on Zoe. Like, we just see Tails have a crush on Zoe in that one episode of Sonic Boom, and it doesn't go anywhere. Like we literally see a couple of episodes later that she's fangirling of like Justin Bieber or something. So this relationship doesn't end up going anywhere. We don't get confirmation that Tails is dating her actively. Like it's literally just for like this one episode that Tails has like a proper crush on her, and after that it's just gone poof. Oh. Personally, I'm not going to use that to say that, oh, this should be what Tails' relationship ends up being. No. Silver X Amy is a tough sell, but I mean, like, I'm gonna have to put this in like, I'm gonna put this in like another like a lot of this is gonna in mech. It's like I can see where it's coming from, but like all we really saw them to do together was like Amy helped Silver in Sonic 06, and other than that, Amy and Silver have like barely talked. Like this is a pretty cute moment between them. Like if you remember that Sonic IDW comic special, like some of this art is pretty good. I can see Amy being like Silver's like guide into learning to appreciate the joys of like the past instead of worrying about the future, or like, the joys in the present. Like I can honestly see like them, like they'd be good friends. Like Silver would just be like that wholesome guy that Amy vents to occasionally, and like Amy invites over for tea, and like Silver would just be more than happy to come. But like they wouldn't have any romantic feelings. Like, I doubt Silver would even process the idea that Amy would be at all romantically interested in him. But I can see the appeal. You know. Now this one is the OG Silver ship. Now this one, Silver X Blaze. I like it. It just makes sense. You know, they work well together, as Sonic said. Like in literally an effort, like Sonic said, they work well together. Sonic 06, like the Blaze death scene is very impactful even to this day. Like even if it doesn't make sense in the timeline, like I can still see why people would like that scene. And yeah, and not to mention the fact that you have art people like drawing their kids together. Like I can see it. The Silver X Blaze just works. Like I also like how people like make it out that Silver's the wife and Blaze is the husband, because yeah, that is how it would work. Like Silver would be like the twink, as you call it, or like be like the submissive like house husband, just listens to his wife. Like I think that would be a fun. Now Silver X Wisp. Now first off, this is going. I'm not going to discuss why this is disgusting, but Silver X Espio is also going in. I don't like. I'm just gonna say like I don't like them. It's not but I don't like them because Silver and Espio are just good friends. Like I guess like Espio putting the knife at his heart in that IDW issue where they're talking, it's a bit like intimately charged. But at the end of the day, they're just good friends. Like here they are hanging out. Like they're just good friends, and they've only like really talked together. Like they only have like one game where they work together, and like this one conversation where they genuinely like talk to each other for a long period of time. But I do see where you're coming from. Espio would definitely be able to ground Silver when Silver's like mind has expanded towards the future and he's spiraling, thinking about what could happen if he doesn't stop a dangerous threat. I can see like Espio being the one to ground him. Now Silver X Rispers honestly are. It's honestly I can see it. It's going in there fine, dear. Like, I can see a world where that works out. Like we actually see Whisper blush a bit when Silver first initially asks to be part of her team. Well, I don't think she blushes, but like you can see like this little awkward smile. Like I can see it working. I can see Silver's like childish, almost naive, whimsy of enjoying like the present and enjoying the world, rubbing off on Whisper, reminding of her how she used to be before the diamond cutters were ended up being killed. But I can also see a situation where, because of Silver being so sweet and naive, Whisper's also too afraid to like pursue that relationship. Like obviously, because if she were to lose someone as close to her as Silver had become, then she wouldn't really know what to do. It's kind of like why, and also to mention, Whisper and Tangle is too cute to they pass up on. So now Jet and Wave is like, don't like them. I mean, it's just not their relationship. Like Jet and Wave, it's just not their relationship. Like they're clearly just friends. Like even if she's wearing her sun goggles right here, like Jet and Wave are just friends. Oh, they're not even really friends. They're just like they're more like they have like the Babylon and Wave just have like a sibling dynamic, you know. Jet is the leader and leader despite being like Jet would be the leader despite being the youngest of the three. With Jet was Wave and acting as like the sassy, slightly older twin sister, and like Storm being like the oldest but the dumbest of the dumbest brother, who just gets ordered around by Jet and Wave. Like honestly, they're not a couple. They're just like people. They're just partners who work in crime, literally partners in crime, who don't really show that much affection towards each other. You know, now this one is like, meh. Like, the reason I'm putting this one in meh is because it's just an excuse for some lesbian bait. Like, let's be real. Like, literally. Like, it's literally just an excuse for some lesbian bait. But honestly, I can see it working. They're both girls who have a high value themselves. They're both thieves, you know, and I can definitely see Rouge getting Wave into some fashion. Maybe even help Rouge design some like special designer boards or something. And they share a laugh here. I don't know why someone drew them kissing here. But okay, you do you. We need some more Yuri in the Sonic franchise anyway. Now Metal X Amy is actually pretty like I'm gonna put it in their fine tier. Simply because it's honestly kind of cute when people try to show like Amy trying to redeem Metal. Like I think that's pretty cool. Metal deserves some happiness. Not to mention the fact that we literally have it in the official capacity, like Amy going off her way to like fix up Metal Sonic, put a bow on him and deliver him back to Eggman. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool. Like I can honestly see that working out more or less. But you know, honestly, Amy, girls, don't fight over me. I'll kiss you. What the heck? But yeah, honestly, I can see it working. But like, it wouldn't be like a romantic thing. Like Amy would just want to help Metal Sonic. But you know, if Metal Sonic were to get like a real bot, like ever had a way to make himself organic, then maybe I can see it working. Maybe. Nope. I'm just gonna show you. Sonic versus Shadow. I'm just gonna show you what would happen if, like, no, like there's too much beef going on. No, we must maintain the agenda that Metal Sonic is stronger than Shadow, even in base. Like, no. Like, this is like an already weakened and partially damaged Metal Sonic just dogging on Shadow here. Like, I don't know why, but no matter the error, like there always has to be some, like literally, like he's about to use chaos and then like Shadow Mess up just toss him to the side. Like honestly, like you know, like no matter the reality, like this is gonna be what happens in the Sonic movie 4. I'm telling you, if Shadow shows up to fight Metal Sonic, like Metal Sonic is going to bully him for a bit. Like they're gonna have to. So yeah. Anyway, this is a Sonic Prime ship, which I mean, Chaos Sonic Gates Rusty Road is more like it's kind of because like like I think Rusty Roads has more should be shipped with like other versions of Amy as opposed to Chaos Sonic. Like I don't see them working out at all. Like I could, it's not so I'm gonna put it like up here because yeah, I get there, but no. Now Shard X Nicole is like definitely an okay one. And let me see. Shard. Pretty sure they do talk in the series, but I can see it work. Like Shard X Nicole, here we go. Like, you know, they definitely have that dynamic to them. You know, they're pretty good friends, you know. I don't remember a lot about Shard's story, and I'd have to reread up on Archie again. But I think there's actually like official like comic strips of them. Like it's like a contest entry, so this is a canon to actual like series. But I can see it working out. I mean, they're both digital constructs, like they're both AI. sort of like robots. And Nicole does have a real body now, so they could actually like be together physically. Not to mention the fact that I think it would basically like Shard is a good to sum up Shard basically he's a version of Metal Sonic made good, like reprogrammed and obviously given a new paint job to look different and unique. And he's basically a Metal Sonic turned good. And Nicole is like an AI who was once reduced to just basically being a glorified computer, now has a real body. They both have new bodies and new set purposes. I feel like they'd be able to bond over that somewhat. So I can see it working. It's not a terrible ship. Shadow's Mephiles is Mephiles like Infinite is also like just it's funny. Because I think they were both bond over the fact that Shadow beat the shit out of them. But I don't think like it's gonna go anywhere. Like I don't think it would go anywhere. Like I think they probably just end up just plotting together to destroy the world or something. Gerald acting Black Doom, as funny as honest as it is funny. Because Gerald, and Black Doom. There's going to be some crazy art. But yeah, Gerald and Black Doom, they're both Shadow's dads. That's the fact that Doom, like, it's just kind of funny how stupid, for a guy with like over 300 IQ and who made like all the crazy stuff that he did make, what made you think that making a deal with, like a forced-in deal with essentially the closest thing to the devil in the Sonic universe? And did you really think that was a good idea? Like, of course he was going to come back and attempt to destroy the world. Because you literally promised you were going to collect the Chaos Emeralds, you were going to make sure to collect the Chaos Emeralds for him. And you did this knowing damn well that you already had a couple Chaos Drives that he might try and snag. So why would you do that? Also, this is gross. Having him kiss the commander, like, no. That's not how that should work. Anyway, where was that? Anyway, yeah. Blaze X Amy. Now, Amy X Blaze is it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm gonna put it in like it's in there fine. Yeah, it's not meh, but it's in there fine. Like Amy X Blaze. Like I know it's a popular ship. Like Amy will probably be the most popular character of the ship if I had to guess. Because you can ship Amy with anyone because she has love for the world. Plus, I find it kind of cute. I find Amy and Blaze stuff kind of cute when they're together. Like, obviously, that's obviously not, they're obviously not into that, but I can see it, especially since, like, in the Archie comics, like, Amy is the one who actually helps Blaze, like, make friends. Like, unlike, like, it's not Sonic that actually convinces Blaze to, make friends. Like, Amy and Cream are the ones who actually become friends with Blaze in the Archie comics. We know Sonic and Blaze do meet at some point in Archie, but we know, but it's obviously more so like Amy who gets through to Blaze as opposed to Sonic. I don't think we really get to see much of that first meeting. Let me see. Yeah, like, yeah. That art was pretty bad in that comic strip. Like, that happened. Also, damn. But they really. No, how really doing Blaze this dirty? That's fucking devious. Anyway. Now Blaze X Tangle, it's like, it's a mesh it. Like, Blaze and Tangle don't have any. Like, I can see Tangle admiring Blaze, not just for her heroism, but because she's a princess. But other than that, like, Blaze probably wouldn't have any interest to reciprocate her feelings. I can honestly see. Also, this kid design is pretty nice, but I can see Blaze. I can see it being similar to how Blaze treats me. Like, she viewed Tangle as annoyance at first, but eventually she grow fond of how friendly Tangle is, and people join them kissing again. But but I don't see like Blaze like having any like feelings for Tangle in that way. Now this one is a funny one. Like this one is actually like it's going in there fine too, simply because I find it funny. Like Blaze X like Omega X Blaze is crazy. Like honestly, like in the Archie comics, like we actually see like it's literally here. Like literally he falls in love with her because he literally burned like because of how strong she is. And I feel like that's what would make sense for Omega. Like Omega would love a woman, like a female woman who's as strong as he is. Like Omega's that, but like and Omega's type would literally just be someone who can cause a lot of property damage. But these girls are going in meta because, bro, they're just friends. Like Amy and Sticks are just friends. Like they're just good friends. Like there's no shipping potential between them. You know, Sticks is just a crazy girl that Amy met one day. We've only seen modern Sticks in like a Sonic, in like a web comic. Like you'd have to actually look on like at the Japanese like Sonic website, like a Sonic official comic website to like find it. Like it's such a niche comic that people didn't even know Sticks had a modern appearance outside of probably this artwork and that comic. I don't even remember the name of it. That's how you know that. That's how you know that. And not so much that she got name dropped in Frontiers, which means we might see a modern Sticks soon, but knowing SEGA, we probably won't. Now this one actually is pretty cool. Like I actually like the Surge X Aim kind of shit. Because again, I can see a way in which it works out. Like, you know, Surge, like Amy getting through to Surge. You know, Surge seemed to be pretty alright with Amy's company. You know, like I can also see a world where if Amy were to be willing to move on from Sonic, Surge would eventually fall in love with Amy, not like outwardly at first, but because Amy would be like the first person to like genuinely believe in Surge and believe that certain kid could be like good people. And I can see Surge, and I can see how Surge being jealous that Amy likes Sonic so much, so does her best to one up Sonic by trying to get with Amy. You know. So, you know, I can see that being like the crux of the relationship. Like it starts off with Surge trying to run up Sonic by getting with Amy, but then Amy ends up realizing that, and like you know, ends up actually realizing some true feelings, you know, something like that. See, this is just like, eh. This I don't like them simply because they're not supposed. Like it's not something that would make sense. Like you know, like Sally and Amy, they weren't even love rivals for Sonic. They're just like good friends. Would it be cute? Yeah. Like girl on girl relationships tend to be more cute than ever. Someone actually redrew this with Amy holding her instead, but like yeah, like it wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't be a thing. Amy and like this and Nicole, this is a meh. Got Sally and Nicole. Like, Nicole was essentially just Sally's glorified ChatGPT. I don't think that's a good basis for a relationship when I was carrying around my girlfriend in a computer. They're good friends, and you can tell that Nicole does have some deep feelings for Sally as a friend. But like romantically, it's not really implied any sort of form of romance. I could see it working. I could see them having something for each other like that. With how long they've been together since Nicole was with Sally since she was a baby. She, you know, Rujik's Amy is like, nah. Ruj and Amy are better for rivals. Like, you know, like Ruj being to get under Amy's skin because she's such a mature woman and Amy views Amy almost like a little girl. Never mind. I like these human versions of them, but yeah, you always have to find one where they're kissing. But you know, I can see this being like a funny kind of thing. Like I can imagine Rouge thinking it'd be funny if she, in order to get Sonic's attention, she would try and convince Amy that maybe if Amy pretended to be lesbian, like maybe it would make Sonic feel inadequate and want to confess to her. And Amy agreeing with it simply because she's desperate and naive at the time. And Rouge just kisses Amy in front of everybody to be funny. And Amy gets embarrassed and flustered, agrees to just go on a date with Rouge so that she will stop, and then Rouge just takes her to the club or something. And uses an excuse to teach Amy how to be herself without having to worry about Sonic's affection. And they go shopping, dress up in cool outfits. Rouge trying to convince Amy that she needs to be a bit bolder in order to get Sonic's attention and teaching her how to flirt with men. And then we get like a really funny scene where Amy trying to flirt with Sonic and Sonic being flattered but awkward about it. Like, I feel like that would be funny. Now this one is like our funny one. Like, I'm going to put it in their fine tier simply because I think it'd be funny. Like, I honestly think Rouge X, what's her name? Topaz. Like, it'd be really fun. Like, this is one like the human relationships that would kind of work. I can see it work. Like, especially when you have like that dirty joke where like you're pretty tough for an old lady. Like when she puts the bit around her, she's like, oh, so you like it rough, huh? Like, I guess you're into BDSM, huh? Like, that's a whole sexual joke. Like, if you watch the English dub, you wouldn't see it, but you have to watch the sub. I thought why Sonic sub is really cool because they have like a lot of meta dialogue, but still some like genuinely cool dialogue that the English dub misses out because it's too busy on putting music in every scene that doesn't need it. Like, every time Sonic starts running, you hear that. I don't know what was up with cartoons back then, from the need to put sound effects in every scene. Like, sometimes a quiet scene is better than one with too much. Okay, we're almost done now. This one, I'm just gonna start speed running through a few of these. This one is, the only reason I say this is a meh is simply because Chaos and Decor. Like, first of all, Chaos can't really talk, so communication would be difficult. Also, they're clearly just friends. And not to mention the fact the basis of the relationship starts with Decor sealing Chaos into the master. I don't think that's a good foundation for a relationship. Or even like a friendship or something. Like, it's clear they're just like good friends. Like, Decor is friends with Chaos because Decor took care of the Chow and actually communicated with Chaos, still trying to fight him for control of the monster, and like the rest of her clan did. Peace, love, and chaos. Well, I guess the way SEGA promotes it, they might have a thing. I don't know, but I think they just work better as like a team, a duo. But it's cute. But I do like this art of them though. Like, this is pretty cool. I do wish we saw more of them. Now, Mighty X Honey is like, I don't like. I'm gonna say meh. Simply because I don't know why people would ship them. Because they don't speak together in the Archie comics, which was probably what that relationship was based. But Mighty and Honey do not speak at all together. And I mean, I can see Mighty being like Honey's bodyguard or something. Also, this is crazy. This is a crazy frame right here. I can see Mighty being like a bodyguard or anything, or something like that. Also, I like these designs right here. These are pretty neat. But like, I don't really see like the appeal. Like, I don't see what would make you want to ship them together on the fact that it's a cool pair. Now, this one is obviously going in. And honestly, this might be like the only ship that like shares the spot with OTP with Sonic and Sally, because I mean, it's vanilla and cream. It's vanilla and Vector. It's like it's like it's the one relationship that SEGA has pretty much confirmed with that one panel and added up. Like, you can actually see, like, it's probably there somewhere. Like, they're going to get, like, they would get together if SEGA was interested in it. Like, you can literally see it here. She's giving him the eyes, but like these are the eyes, like, please call me. Like, it's clear that these two have a thing. Like if Vanilla is gonna remarry, it's definitely gonna be Vector. You know, the feelings are mutual at this point, clearly. You know, so I can see. So obviously, that's just it was always. Now this is obviously their teammates. This one's like meh, because like Charmy and like Cream, they don't interact at all. I prefer like the new ship, which like Charmy X Siege, which seems to be a thing. Like shipping Charmy with Cream was alright. I mean, I guess since they're both kids, it would make sense. But I much prefer the Charmy X Siege dynamic thing that seems to be going on right now. Like, hey yo, someone get ChatGPT over here. Eggman must be back to using animals for his bat. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Nah, a violation. Tell me, your threat level is not a concern. You will never fit. Like, no, this is crazy. No, this is like some crazy shit. That's some crazy shit. But yeah, I can honestly see like I can see it working simply because Charmy's so unpredictable and fun that he'd actually be able to teach Sage what it means to like truly live outside of like simulations. Because we can actually see it in like recent chapters. Sage is a very methodical thinker, like it's in her nature to think of possibilities as opposed to just taking action and enjoying her day. So I can see that working in that sense. Gen 1 Cream is like, no. Like, no. It's not the issue. This one is definitely going up there. Like, this one is definitely going up there. Because Tangle X Whisper is practically canon. Like, you can literally see in like the art the creators draw of them. Where they're mainly like matching like wristbands and all that stuff. Like they're a couple. Obviously, since Sega isn't like Sega isn't like ready to like write a romance. Like you can literally see it here, like the colors behind like everything. They are a couple. And obviously, Sega just isn't focused on that right now. Like if Sega, like I feel like the day we get like Sega to officially acknowledge like romantic connection in the Sonic franchise is the day we're gonna like reach like some peak Sonic material. But until then, we are gonna be here doing lists like these. Now this one is like, ooh, this is like, I would say I don't like them. I can see why. I mean, she's the only female Zeti. I mean, Savok has to repopulate the Zeti somehow. Like, if they're going to be a threat in Silva's future, which is like 200 years later. So either the Zetis have long lifespans, which I can imagine them having longer lifespans than most humans, or Xena was doing some mad work with Zavok, because I can guarantee Zavok could hog Xena with himself. And only like but he probably ordered Xena to just breed the whole Deadly Six. Like that sounds like something she would even do. Like every one of us are getting a ton of you, like especially me. So yeah, also these designs for them are pretty cool. Man. This is pretty sick artwork. But yeah, I just don't see Savok. Like Zetis don't seem like the type to have those kinds of romantic feelings in general, aside from Xena, who's just flirtatious. Now this one is like this relationship is like very like I honestly think they're fine. So this is like a fine relationship. Mainly because like Scourge, like if you give me like Scourge and Scourge X Fiona, like this is like literally Scourge was just like the evil Sonic that Fiona needed. Because Fiona was trying to be the good girl for Sonic, essentially, but she's always a bad bitch underneath. So she decided, if I'm going to be a bad bitch, I might as well be with the bad Sonic. You know? And they basically deserve each other. Like, if Fiona was going to keep clinging to her evil self, her evil mask, that she eventually made her real self, go into as her real self, it would make sense that Scourge she'd remain with Scourge. You know. Also, like, where's the art? I just saw like with them. That's crazy. Oh, look right there. But so I just saw like some art with her talking to Surge. I feel like if Fiona were to interact with Surge, that'd be pretty interesting. Too bad all the Archie comic characters are off the table, which is sad to think about. But oh, now we are on to the final two. This one is just like funny. It's literally just Scourgex, like a Rosie. Like the whole point is that it's funny. Like the whole point, like it's literally Yandere, but unlike Yanderes who just want to be with each other, like he actually, like Rosie actually just wants to kill Scourge, like wants to smash him into the ground. Like it's honestly funny. Like it's honestly funny. Where instead of like she loves Scourge, but she wants to smash him to bits. Like it's honestly kind of crazy. Now this one is also like just they're literally married. Like come on, it's a cool couple, and it is also our last couple of today. So before I end this video, I'm going to just say Bunny X. Bunny Robot and I'm going to say bless this couple and bless what we lost from Archie. Like them being a couple is like one of the best moments in Archie Sonic. So let this be a vow that I hope if we get some of these characters back, right? Because we know they exist, and they should still be able to use them since they create them long before the Archie comes back in Sonic AM. But I guess they just don't want to see you use them again. Anyway, if you guys like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay awesome. And yeah, it's Orbital Nova signing out Sesame Station. The full tier list I will post. I will be posting the full tier list. But until then, you will not hear from me until tomorrow next time. So see ya. Bye.